Hello and welcome to day 2 of Music and Mindfulness. Today's theme is the walking bass, and we will be doing a guided walking meditation. I'll talk for about 5 minutes about the music and then we'll go into the meditation. Walking meditations are part of the Theravada Buddhist tradition, where monks walk for up to 15 hours a day in silent contemplation. Our meditation will be very short in those terms, but will give you a taste of the practice which you might want to develop and incorporate into your daily lives whenever you can. The monks walk back and forth along a single path, so there's no need to negotiate the route, and a slight interruption at each end gives you a moment to gather your thoughts. Walking meditation can be a lovely introduction to meditation if you've never done it before. So what's this got to do with music? Music is much more than an auditory experience. It affects your whole being, your motor system, your cognitive memory, your emotions and stress response. We're going to consider the nature and the history of the walking bass, so we can approach incorporating the walking meditation into our lives and remind ourselves of this parallel in music. The walking bass has an even, repetitive quality and moves in rhythmic steps like our footsteps, hence its name. It's a very long established musical technique going back to the end of the Renaissance, around the 1600s. Composers from this period and into the Baroque era used to write in code. We call it figured bass, and it was like a form of shorthand. It left the bass players free to interpret the harmonies. Harmonies would be implied rather than written out. There's a lovely example in Bach's St. Matthew Passion, number 27, about the capture of Christ. And actually Bach gives the walking bass to the violins and violas. In the time of late Mozart and Haydn, composers began to assert more control. Their bass lines became more expressive. And the walking bass, to some extent, died out, but not altogether. And harking back to that early period of music, Mendelssohn wrote a beautiful walking bass in the Andante of his Italian symphony. I'll just outline that to you now. And just notice how there's a really purposeful feeling about the accompaniment, and it propels the meandering melody forwards. We see a re-emergence of the walking bass in jazz in the 20th century. The jazz bass, like the figured bass, uses a series of passing notes to outline the harmony. Here is Gabriel, fantastic singer-songwriter, who's going to outline exactly how the walking bass works. In a later video, I'll be focusing on one of Gabriel's songs, I Am Enough, And there's a link to his work and his website at the end of this video. There's a lovely ease of forward motion in Gabriel's playing, and that's one of the characteristics I really want you to be thinking about when we do our walking guided meditation in a few moments. One of the great players in the jazz world was Ray Brown, fantastic bass player, played with Dizzy Gillespie, Oscar Peterson and Ella Fitzgerald, and he actually met and married Ella in 1947, must have been a whirlwind romance. You can hear him with the Oscar Peterson trio on the fantastic album We Get Requests. There's 3 particular tracks that really highlight the bass beautifully. They are People, You Look Good to Me and Sometimes I'm Happy. Count Basie's Splanky, which was written by Neil Hefti, gives us a really, really laid back jazz walking bass. Absolutely beautiful. So check that one out from the Atomic Mr. Basie with Eddie Jones on bass. And if you want to go behind the scenes to really get down to how the jazz bass works, you must watch Martin Taylor, amazing guitar player. He does a short tutorial on the walking bass, which is fantastic. And like everything he does, it's insightful, musical and really wonderful. So there's a link to that at the end of the video, so do check that out. Now, great examples of the walking bass, of course, are all over jazz, and popular music, from Nat King Cole's Route 66 right through to great classic tracks like Led Zeppelin's Dazed and Confused and Queen, Crazy Little Thing Called Love. There's lots of examples you could be looking out for. Coming back to our body, we're going to take the qualities of this music and the qualities of the musical device, the gentle walking pace, the sense of momentum and the regular pulse. And we're going to actually apply that to our meditation. After the meditation, I'll be playing you Bach's Air on a G string, accompanied by Claire O'Connell, wonderful cellist. And while you're listening to the music, I want you to really think about how your body feels, the pulse. You think about your heart rate and really pay attention, if you can, to the bass line, the cello line. The essence of the walking bass in this piece is very clear, but Bach opens up the bass line. He puts in leaps over an octave to give it more space. Speaking of space, if you don't have very much space and you don't feel you can walk, it's fine to just listen through to this meditation, imagining your journey, or just apply these mindful techniques to your standing position. This is a walking meditation. It works best with bare feet. All you need is a little space to walk a few paces forward with no obstacles. Try to ensure you find a secluded place to walk, free from distractions. Somewhere where you feel safe. Let's begin with a good standing posture, paying attention to shoulders being soft and spines lengthened so we feel nice and tall. Before beginning to move, we will connect with our breathing.
Spend a few moments noticing your breath, anchoring your attention in your body. Take your attention now to your feet and feel your weight evenly spread through both feet. Noticing each part of each foot, your heels, the sides, the ball of each foot, your toes. Stretch them and make them comfortable. Cast your eyes forward, not focusing on anything in particular, and notice the evenness of your breathing. Stay with your breath for a moment. As if in slow motion, prepare to lift your right foot, noticing the shift in your weight and the feeling of momentum in your whole body as you have this thought. Allow your right heel to lift. Very slowly, take one small step, noticing how you raise your right foot and how the weight is carried and released in your left foot. Observe the sensations in both feet as you follow this step with another and another. Pay close attention to how you balance and rebalance your body. Find a natural rhythm, being constantly mindful of sensations as they arise in the soles of your feet. Allow each step to be uplifting, keeping a feeling of upwards as well as forwards in your movement. Keep an intimate pace. When you turn, gather your thoughts. Catch your attention if it has wandered. Be attentive to your physical experience. Allow your feet to raise, roll, gently push, touch. If thoughts intrude, reconnect with your breathing. Breathe all the way into your feet. Staying tall, mindfully finding your own pace. Gentle movement. Continue as you listen to the music. Connect with the steps of the bass line, freeing your body in harmony with your breath.